let's put back the rocker arms. Make sure they are in the same order as when you took them out. Make sure they are placed correctly on the valve, otherwise it might slip. Now we can put in the intake rocker arms. Now we have to make sure that all the rocker arms are in the right position again. Then we have to clean all the surfaces so we don't leave any debris inside the bearings. Then clean this camshaft. This is the exhaust camshaft, and make sure there's no debris anywhere. And then just use some engine oil to put some lubrication on the bearings. Now we can install the camshaft. Make sure that the exhaust camshaft has this part here in upright position. Also make sure that this rear part slots into the vacuum pump. Make sure there's plenty of oil on the surfaces. Then we can install these brackets. Make sure you put them in the same order as you've taken them out. Also note that there is a marking here, A1, that means first of exhaust. Now that we have installed the exhaust camshaft and put on the cap bearings, we can put back the nuts. When you are putting back the nuts, don't forget to reinstall these metal brackets for the oil line. You have two of them. One is on the first cup, and the second one is on the second cup. So first you just install all of the nuts, just hand tighten them. And then you're going to start tightening them down by 1/2 of a turn from the inside out. So I'm gonna start here and slowly tighten them down. Just do it one by one, slowly. You don't have to rush this job. Once you have all the nuts tightened down to the cylinder head, you can torque them down with 5 Newton meters of torque, and then we're going to do the final torquing to 10 Newton meters. So I'm using this small torque wrench and I've set it to 5 Newton meters. As you can see, it's already tightened to more than 5. Now I'm going to do 10 Newton meters and start from inside out. Now I'm going to check all of them again, just to make sure. And this is it, the exhaust camshaft is now all the way in, installed. Now we're going to put back this Valvetronic bracket. First, we want to make sure that all the surfaces are clean. And then we can put some engine oil on the bearings. Like this. And we're also going to put some oil on the rocker arms. Now we're going to install back the Valvetronic bracket. We have the Valvetronic bracket here. Also clean all the surfaces, make sure there's no debris or any foreign particles in there, and then use engine oil to lube everything up so it doesn't sit together with no oil. Here you can see the VANOS. This is where the oil pressure comes through, and it goes through these holes and into the VANOS unit. So this is an interesting view of the VANOS unit. Now I'm just going to make sure everything looks perfect, and then I'm going to install it. Make sure you don't drop anything. If you have a friend that can help you, that's a very good idea, because this unit is quite heavy. Take your time, don't rush anything. And then just drop it in like this. Okay, so this looks okay. Now check the rocker arms, so they are aligned perfectly on the valves. It's best idea to use a flashlight to shine some light at the back of the bracket so you can see all of the rocker arms. Okay, so everything looks fine. We're going to put back the nuts and start tightening down the Valvetronic unit. And now that you have all the nuts placed on the bolts, just tighten them down from the center in 1/2 turn increments. Always go from the inside out. Okay, so now we have all the bolts tightened down just by hand. Now we're going to torque them to the appropriate spec. Again, I'm gonna do this in 2 parts. First I'm gonna do 8 Newton meters, and then I'm going to do 10. So this is 8 Newton meters. Now we're going to do the final torque at 10 Newton meters. And this is the Valvetronic system bracket reinstalled. Now what we want to do is remove these zip ties because we don't need them anymore. So I'm just going to cut off all the zip ties. So we have the zip ties removed. Now we can remove this temporary bolt which was used to clamp the inlet camshaft to the Valvetronic bracket. Then we can remove the original VANOS screw. Remember, we have to replace these screws with the new ones because they are torque to yield screws. Now we're going to put back this retention spring at the back. I am going to use this universal joint and the long 6mm socket. So the spring is back. Now we're going to reattach oil supply line. We can insert this oil line like this. Make sure that the oil line is seated in the metal brackets. Then we can put back this screw with the hole. This is a 13 millimeter. And we're going to tighten it down to 10 Newton meters. Okay, so basically we're done with this exhaust and inlet camshafts, and now we have to do the timing. We have to reinstall back the VANOS units, so let's do that.